Baby, the Mafia is behind you. You hear those words and think it's just a warning, something simple, something you can run from if you move fast enough. But what you don't understand is that nothing about this is simple anymore. Not since you stepped into a world that does not forgive, does not forget, does not lose interest once it has marked you. And still you stand there believing distance can save you, believing movement is enough, believing that if you just keep going, you will eventually outrun what is already closing in. And I wish it were that easy, I truly do, because if it were, I would not be speaking to you like this. I would not be watching shadows tighten around something that should have never been touched in the first place. And still you do not see the scale of it. You think of Mafia like it is just a group of men, just danger in a visible form. But what you don't see is that this kind of power does not move loudly. It does not chase in the open. It surrounds, it waits, it learns your rhythm, your habits, your silences, and then it closes in when you believe you are safe. And right now, you are not safe, not even close. And I should have told you sooner. I should have pulled you away before their eyes ever found you. But you were never meant to be part of this. You were never meant to carry the weight of choices that were mine. And still here you are, caught in something that does not care about innocence, that does not recognize the difference between who you are and what you mean to me. And that is the real danger, not them alone, but what you represent, because to them, you are not just a person, you are leverage, you are a message, you are a way to reach me without ever stepping into my shadow. And that is why you need to understand this now. Clearly, without hesitation, without doubt, you cannot stay where you are. You cannot trust what looks calm. You cannot assume you have time, because time is the one thing they are already taking from you, piece by piece, silently, patiently. And I am the only one who sees how close they already are. You always thought my world was intense, complicated, maybe even dangerous in a distant way, like something you could observe but never truly be part of. And I let you believe that. I let you stand at the edge of it, thinking there was a line that could not be crossed, a boundary that would keep you safe no matter how close you came. But that boundary was never real. It was something I created for you, something I maintained as long as I could. And the moment you mattered to me beyond control, that boundary started breaking, slowly at first, quietly, almost invisibly, until now, when it is completely gone, and still you look at me like I can fix this instantly, like I can just say the right words or make the right move and everything will disappear. But this is not something that disappears. This is something that escalates, something that grows the longer it is left unchecked. And I have been watching it grow, watching the way they shift, the way they test, the way they circle without ever fully revealing themselves. And you never noticed, because you were never supposed to notice. You were supposed to stay untouched, separate, distant from everything that defines my reality. And yet here we are. And now every moment you spend unaware is a moment they use to get closer, to understand you better, to predict you. And that is what terrifies me. Not fear in the way you think, not fear for myself, but fear of losing control over something I should have protected at all costs. And still you underestimate them. You think this is something you can handle alone, something you can outsmart or avoid. But this is not a game of intelligence or speed. This is a system, a network, something that operates on patience and precision. And once you are inside that system, the only way out is through someone who understands it completely, someone who has lived in it long enough to know where it breaks, where it bends, where it can be forced to let go, and whether you like it or not, that someone is me. You might be wondering why you Why now? Why they would come for someone who has nothing to do with their world? And that question has only one real answer: me. Everything leads back to me. Every risk, every shadow, every threat that now surrounds you exists because of the position I hold, the decisions I have made, the enemies I have created without ever needing to speak their names. And in my world, no one is ever truly untouched, not if they become important, not if they become visible. And you became both without realizing it, without understanding the moment you crossed from being someone outside my life to someone they could use against it. And that is the moment everything changed, not just for me, but for you as well. Even if you did not feel it immediately, even if nothing seemed different on the surface, beneath that surface, everything was shifting, aligning, preparing for exactly this situation, and still I tried to keep you away from it. I kept my distance when I should have pulled you closer. I stayed silent when I should have warned you, because I thought I could manage it alone. I thought I could contain it, control it, handle it without letting it reach you. And that was my mistake, because control in this world is never absolute. It is temporary, fragile, always one step away from breaking. And now it has broken in the worst possible way, not through me, but through you. And that is something I will not allow to continue, not for a second longer, because this is no longer about strategy or power or maintaining balance. This is about removing you from a situation that will only get worse the longer you stay exposed. And you are exposed right now in ways you cannot even see. Listen to me carefully, because what I am about to say is not a suggestion. It is not something you can delay or think about or question later. It is something you need to act on immediately. You need to move, not randomly, not in panic, but with purpose, with direction, with awareness that every step you take is being watched more closely than you realize. And still you might feel like this is too much, like I am exaggerating, like the situation cannot be as serious as I am making it sound. But that doubt is exactly what they rely on. Hesitation is their advantage. Uncertainty is their entry point. And the moment you hesitate is the moment they get closer. And I cannot let that happen, not when I am already this close to pulling you out of it completely, because I am moving too. I am not sitting here waiting. I am not observing from a distance. I am already shifting things into place.